Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jack and I am going to read post from malicious compliance. This viral post is about TSA experience from Redditors. You've been randomly selected. This happened about 3 years ago while going through an airport in the US. I walked through the metal detector, something must have beeped and they needed to pat me down. After a thorough pat down, I put my shoes on and started to walk over to grab my bag. A TSA agent stops me and says, "You've been randomly selected, please step into the body scanner." I was polite, but said that I really didn't want to get into the body scanner, and asked if there was another way. The agent said that I could get a pat down. I said, well, I just got a pat down, so. They angrily told me to pick an option. So, I took 2 steps backwards, to the woman who had patted me down 30 seconds ago and spread M, again. While she was patting me down, I asked her if she found anything new. She stared daggers at me but let me go. I fly for business. I've been randomly selected a few times and it's never been a big deal, except one time. I have pre-check, so I go through a metal detector. It beeps for the randomly selected, so I go through the body scanner. It's clean. I go to get my backpack, and it's been pulled for additional screening. After that, the TSA tells me I need to be patted down because some swab test on my hands failed. So, at this point I'm angry, and wait for it to be mid-pat down, right around the waist, and just let out the littlest of moans. The TSA guy looked like he'd been hit with a brick. I laughed. TSA pulled me aside the other day and asked me what some item in my bag was that was circled on the X-ray. I can't read those damn things, so I answered, I don't know. Maybe makeup? Which was apparently the worst answer because then it became him accusing me I didn't know what was in my bag. The item in question was a bottle of a spice blend I purchased. My wife had a similar experience, only they asked, "What is this gun-stepped object?" She said, "What makes you think it's gun-stepped?" She could easily tell it was a pair of items stacked on top of each other. They opened her bag, rifled through it, got a supervisor over, where they took her to the side and played out each item one at a time. The whole time she keeps asking which item is gun-shaped. There were several travel tubes of liquid items. A pill bottle, small card deck-size notebook and pencil, a deck of cards, and headphones. She couldn't tell if it was the notebook or the cards aligned with one of the tubes, and since she knew she had nothing gun-shaped she couldn't answer the question. Every time I go through, I get selected for a pat down. As they get near my private area, they always say, "I'm going to use the back of my hands," to which I always reply, "Doesn't matter, it's still the front of my balls." I don't fly anymore cause apparently I get chosen 100% of the time, sometimes multiple times. Nope, no bombs, still just my dirty underwear. Here is nothing the TSA does that makes life any more secure than just what they were doing prior to 9/11. They fail 80% of the time. I don't get why they have to make everyone miserable for such a shit outcome. The only reason people don't push back at their stupid requests is because they hold to power to ruin your vacation. I was just in Dallas headed home. Someone walked past the gate to the guy who checks boarding passes. He had already let someone through and was just standing there with a blank look on his face. When he saw her walking up to him, he yelled at her to go back behind the sign that said, "Wait here." So she did, and as soon as she did he called her forward. It was exactly the kind of shit a 9-year-old would pull, and everyone in line was laughing at the stupidity of it. But we were all laughing quietly so he wouldn't mark us for a cavity search. I don't remember where I read it, but I'll always remember the stealth boner TSA story. Basically, the guy got it up and tucked it underneath the rubber band on the leg of his underwear. In comes the TSA guy and his pat-down, finds suspicious hidden bump, asks what it is. "Well, it's a penis." "Sir, why do you have an erection at a security checkpoint?" "I just love a man in uniform and you grab me so firmly yet so gently." I don't know how many shades of red a single person can turn at the same time, but this was always my favorite retaliation for passengers always getting their balls fondled. I was leaving the US after a vacation in Florida in 2016 with my wife and child. The TSA guy was talking with my wife and when I told him she does not speak English, he didn't really like it and kept on, aggressively, saying things and still directing his speech to her and asking stuff without talking to me so I can translate. I was really annoyed on how obviously racist he was looking at us, and the funny part was his Indian accent was very strong and he still didn't like the fact that a tourist didn't speak English very well lol. They randomly selected me in 2011. Took me aside, said go into this private room on the side and told me to take off my belt. I went in, took off every piece of cloth including my boxers and stood there butt-ass naked. He walked in and then stumbled back, sir, you didn't have to take off all your clothes. I said, you didn't have to randomly select me, bad instructions, but go ahead. Diya thang daddy. He shuffled my clothes, shook them, checked pockets and then gave them back, said put them on. Went about my way. Thanks for watching and listening. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel.